So you got yourself upwards of £10,000 and you're looking to buy yourself a little treat. Which treat do you go for? Triumph Speed Triple, Ducati Monster 1200, Yamaha MT10, or curveball Honda CB1000R Neo. Well, let's play a little game of top trumps. I'm going to fart and you're going to try and fart louder. You're 31, Tim, you're 31. We're going to play top trumps. We're genuinely going to play top trumps. I'm going to read out a category and I'm going to tell you which one of those 4 bikes is better in that particular field. So as previously mentioned, we have the Speed Triple RS that I tried recently. The Ducati Monster 1200S, I went for the S, not the R, because I think that's slightly better pitched against the RS, if not just for money. The MT10 SP, because again, that's what I tried. And we're going to try the CB1000R Neo. And I didn't try the Plus, but there isn't actually any mechanical difference to the bike. It's just some fairing and some kind of froof, for lack of a better phrase, or an actual word. It's a bit of a curveball, I will admit. It's just because I tried it recently that I'm pitching it against it. It's not really linked to these other bikes, necessarily. But for the sake of argument, let's compare them. Let's go for horsepower. The Yamaha has the most horsepower, 160. Then you have the Ducati and the Triumph, both with about 150. And sadly enough for the Honda, it is the loser in this category, 143 brake. Let's talk torque. Ducati wins with 93 foot-pounds, roughly. Then we have the Triumph with 86, Yamaha with 82, and sadly again for the Honda, sitting down there with 77. This is one area where just looking at the stats won't really tell you the full picture. Really, it comes down to your taste. Do you like a twin? Do you like a 4-cylinder? If you kind of like both, but you miss certain elements of the other, then go for the triple, because it is the happy medium, of course. If you like something which is punchy and torquey, go for the twin. If you like something that you have to hang on to, go for either the Yamaha or the Honda. The Yamaha is a little bit torqueer than the Honda because it is a cross-plane crankshaft, which means the sequence of firing is changed just a little bit, giving it a little bit more torque, a little bit more drive. And then the Speed Triple, being a triple, is the happy middle ground where it revs out like a sports bike, but it has the punch and the torque of a twin. Now we're going for wet weight, and there really is only 1 kilogram in it between all of them, so it's 210 kilograms for the Yamaha, 211 for the Ducati, 212 for the Honda, and who the F knows for the Triumph. Any manufacturer that will only list dry weights is trying to hide something. If I can't find the statistics somewhere online, then they ain't proud of it, put it that way. Best guess is around 215 kg. Best front brakes, Ducati. It has Brembo M50s. They're very, very good. The Triumph isn't far behind. It has Brembo M4s, and they're very good as well. The Yamaha is trailing behind that, and when I rode it, I did say I didn't mind the brakes too much. I have since changed that because I've tried truly great brakes, and from memory, the Yamahas were only okay. And then trailing in the dust, we have the Honda, sadly, which has the worst of the bunch. Rear brake, on paper, Triumph looks like it wins. For the feel of it and actually riding it, I'd say the Ducati wins. Genuinely, and I've tried them recently, the Ducati has a brilliant rear brake. Better than the Triumph, and the Triumph is better than the Yamaha. And of course the Honda, which comes in the bottom of the category. The Yamaha wins. That's their showpiece, and they really do like to show it off. They've gone for the gold Olins. Semi-active, you can switch it with the dash. It is a bit on the firm side, that's the only thing I will caveat that with. Ducati and the Triumph, they're sitting around the same, both got Olins, again, fully adjustable. Honda goes for Showa, front and back, and they're fully adjustable front, semi-adjustable on the back. Right, let's do away just for a second with which one is better when we talk about proportions, because really it's a very subjective thing. It's kind of down to you and your tastes. Shortest wheelbase is the Yamaha, 1,400 millimeters. Then the Triumph at 1,445, the Honda at 1,455, and the longest wheelbase is the Ducati with 1,485. Think about it now, which one felt the most agile, which one flicked around the easiest. The Ducati is very sure-footed. The wide bars as well, I mean, you've got an awful lot of purchase over there and you can really adjust it in tiny detail as you're going around a corner. The Triumph felt quite flickable, but I was aware that it was quite a big bike. I was quite surprised with the Yamaha. And that bears out when you think of the fact that the wheelbase is really short on the Yamaha, the shortest, and longest on the Ducati. To temper the fact that it is short, obviously they've gone for slightly longer trail. It has the longest trail, in fact. So the steering holds its stability in that way. The Ducati, I think and I feel, gets more of its stability from its wheelbase, and it gets its agility as the trade-off from its headstock. And the Triumph somewhere in the middle there, and again that felt pretty much right. Then we have the Honda. It has quite a flighty, quite a flickable front end, and I don't necessarily mean that in a good way. Now all of the other three actually had quick shifters as well, it's worth noting, so you don't need to put a lot of feedback in on your clutch hands so you don't get a lot of disruption to your steering. The Honda didn't. So the Honda, if you aren't careful, when you change gears, if you're a bit too aggressive and brutal with it, will flick around just a bit and shake. Whilst that kind of stuff helps it with agility going around a corner or flicking it around, it doesn't play to its strength if you aren't soft and subtle with your gear changes. Let's throw in all the curveballs, all the little safety features and tech specs. So with rider modes and with your electronics, they all do it in a slightly different way, but they all have their own little rider modes and quirks. I would say probably the least amount of electronic trickery, in fact definitely, goes to the Honda. Again, you've got your cornering ABS on the Ducati and the Triumph, you've got their safety packages, that plays quite well. Obviously the Yamaha has all sorts of things you can tweak, and you can actually, I think you can do it through an app on your iPad or on your phone, but you can certainly do it through the dash. So all three of them, Yamaha, Ducati and Triumph, have quite an advanced electronic package. Then you've got little quirky things like keyless fob. That's the Triumph. Cruise control. Obviously you have cruise control on the Triumph and the Yamaha. Then you've got things like quick shifters, and obviously the Yamaha and the Ducati come with it as standard. The Triumph does not. You can stick it on. Same is true of the Honda if you want to put it on there as well. They're extra things that you get, but it wouldn't influence me in terms of which one I wanted to buy. Then we come to a very important point for a lot of people, I'm sure, myself included, price. Which one wins for price? Which one is the cheapest? And finally I can tell you that that plucky little Honda has a category. The Honda is the cheapest. That makes sense. You can see where they've cut the price there. It doesn't detract from the overall experience of the bike. It is still a great machine, but you save a bit of money. If you want the absolute dog's bollocks, then you have to go for the other three. Obviously, it's self-evident they have the edge in quite a few different categories. So the Honda at the moment is £12,299, and that is for the Plus. And the Plus just comes with a few different aesthetic changes more than anything else, but it is the best version of the Neo. Next up we have the Triumph at £13,250. It's not a bad price now when you look at it. Then the Yamaha MT10 SP, that's £13,999, call it £14,000. And then unsurprisingly, they tend to be the most expensive, the Ducati. £14,295. And so, we reached that point. I can feel the question coming. If it was your money, which one would you buy? Genuinely, it would depend on my mood. It would depend on where I was riding as well. They're all great bikes, and it might feel like a cop-out for me to say that I like all of them. And it most definitely is, because if I choose one, I know I will get comments down below from people who have already bought this bike, own this bike, love this bike, and feel like I have slighted them personally for choosing the other bikes. And I won't do it. I just won't play into it. They are all fantastic machines. They all have their strengths, they all have their weaknesses, as outlined in this video, and that is really the point. What do you favour? Do you favour brakes over suspension? Do you favour power and outright performance over everything else? Obviously there are more bikes in this category, and I will try my best to test ride all of them. You better believe me, if I get the chance, I will. Thank you very much again for watching. I really genuinely do appreciate it. If you want to do me a solid, then please hit the like button down there. Even better than that, there is a subscribe button down there, and obviously the more subscribers I get, the more appealing I become to manufacturers, and the more bikes I can test if you found this at all useful or at all helpful. And if obviously I can do that in the future, then you'll see more bikes from me compared to other bikes, and it just makes my week a little bit more fun. Thank you very much from the bottom of my heart. I do appreciate it, and I'll see you soon. Ta-ra.